This is now Mimi Jan, Associate Editor of Building Operating Management Magazine. As recognition of the importance of energy use benchmarking spreads, Energy Star's Portfolio Manager, a free online benchmarking tool, has become the go-to for commercial facilities. However, being able to earn an Energy Star rating in part depends on facility type, with more unusual facilities like convention centers not having a ready-built peer set within the tool. This is a conversation I had with David Thomas, Operations Manager of the Austin Convention Center, on overcoming the challenge of benchmarking in a more specialized facility.
I think for the most part, unfortunately, I like to say, what you don't know won't hurt you. That's what a lot of the facility managers and operations managers seem to operate by. If I don't know what I'm wasting, it's not going to hurt me. It's not going to, hurt my review. It's not going to hurt my financial budgetary status within the facility. As long as my boss doesn't know how bad we're doing, I'll stay out of trouble. But the unfortunate reality is, those of us that are in the sustainable mode, we can walk into a building and like right off the bat, we can start looking at all the different types of lighting and all the different things in the building and how we could save 30, 40, 50%. And it's like, wow, could you imagine? I know in my building, utilities run $100,000 a month. In a building of this magnitude, which is a wonderful building, it could be $1 million a month. I mean, it's way bigger than the building I'm in. And so you start calculating what is 20%, what is 40%, what is 50%, and the savings are just astonishing of what the potential is. But it's an untapped resource still in a lot of facilities. We basically just put together a list of all the convention centers, and I got with all of our sales team, with our management staff, our event staff, different members that I know have a network. And we went out and we found a contact, and we probably reached out to about 70 different facilities around the country. Now that's a small portion of the total for the countrywide, but these were all people that were either what we'd call in our comp set, comparable facilities in size that we market or compete against, but areas, any facility that we had a contact with. It may not be the facility person or the operations person, but it was somebody that we could get our foot in the door with. So that's how we started. We put a list together, and then it was just a matter of phone call after phone call, email after email, and reaching out till we got to the facilities people and really, were able to get to the decision makers and the people. And we also used and promoted the Energy Star work groups. We have quarterly webinars and seminars and things that we do as an entertainment facility, which includes stadiums, arenas, football, baseball, and convention centers, and performing arts centers and things like that. So we try to promote that and build that group up and network through that, look at the list of attendees and try to find another contact or another inroad into a new facility. But a lot of it is just, like grassroots legwork, making phone calls and sending out emails. Well, yes, it's definitely a difficulty in the convention industry. There's it's competition. It's a sales, pitting one convention center against another convention center. I try as much as possible to try to build teams and networks, and one of the ways that we try to do that is with the Energy Star Portfolio Manager. And I'm using some of my staff to reach out to those other convention centers. A lot of them, unfortunately, and I expected this, but a lot of them do not even have up-to-date information readily available. They're not tracking their energy use. They're not tracking their waste. They're not tracking their water. They're not tracking any of these things. Mainly in cities where it's just not required. It's really, to them, it's not that important. Unlike in Austin, where it's mission critical. So what I've done is I've actually tried to go out and find, first of all, the convention centers that don't mind it, that are interested in it, and try to create a network of sharing information. And what we do is we gather that information, we compile it into a format and put it into either a portfolio manager for them or into an Excel spreadsheet with all the data from all the different facilities that we're collecting it from. Ideally, we use Portfolio Manager because it's consistent, it's simple, it's easy to use, they can gather it, access it from the internet, and hopefully they'll continue it on and on and on and stay on top of it. So we actually provide that for facilities that don't have the manpower to do the data entry, because on the front end there's a lot of data entry. So we actually offer that as a service for the partnership that will compile all the data for them. If they get us the bills, we'll do 3 years of data for them and then turn it back over to them so they can keep up with it. and for the most part, don't get me wrong, for the most part, the response is very positive. The bigger percentage are on board than aren't. The flip side of that is that heavy front end data entry. It's not everybody has somebody that can just sit down at a computer and go through 36 utility bills and start loading in all that data. So that's where we try to. I am fortunately in a position where I can offer that, and so we try to use that to help kind of promote the movement and get things moving forward.